Hey people, get ready to crush everyday IELTS and CELPIP tests for all modules and make your dreams come true. I'm your motivator and I'll be guiding you through the test prep videos. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, or you'll be missing out on some serious preparation.
Section 1. You will hear a man calling a car hire company to book a vehicle for a weekend. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 10. Now listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 10.
Good morning. I was hoping to make a booking for a hire car, please, for this coming weekend, actually.
Good morning. Of course, I'd be happy to help you with that. Let me just pull up the booking form. Could I start by taking your surname, please?
Yes, it's Whitfield. That's Whitfield.
Whitfield, lovely. Thank you. And your first name?
Daniel.
Daniel, brilliant. And could I take a contact number for you, Mr. Whitfield, a mobile, ideally?
Certainly. It's 07845 632 190.
Let me just read that back to you, 07845 632 190. Have I got that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Perfect. Now, when were you looking to pick the car up?
We'd like to collect it on Saturday, so that would be the 29th of August.
The 29th of August. Got it. And when would you be returning the vehicle?
We're planning to bring it back on the Monday. So that's the 31st of August. We'd be done with it by mid-morning, hopefully.
Brilliant, so the 31st of August. That's a 2-night weekend hire. Now, did you have a particular type of vehicle in mind? We've got quite a range available.
Right, yes, we were thinking an estate car, actually. We've got the family coming along, so we need the boot space.
An estate car, of course. We do have a few of those free that weekend, so that shouldn't be a problem at all. Now, in terms of where you collect, we have 2 locations. There's the city centre branch, and then we've got another one out by the retail park on the ring road. Which would suit you better?
Oh, the city centre would be much more convenient for us. We're staying just nearby.
City centre it is, then. Now, will you be the sole driver throughout the hire period, or is anyone else going to need to drive the vehicle?
My wife will also be driving, yes. So we'll need her added as an additional driver, please.
Not a problem at all. We'll take her details when you come in to collect. Now, I'd like to go through the insurance options with you, if that's all right. We offer 3 levels: basic, standard, and fully comprehensive. The fully comprehensive includes roadside assistance and 0 excess. Which would you prefer?
I think we'd rather go for the fully comprehensive, to be honest. We've got young children in the car, so it's just peace of mind, isn't it?
Absolutely, very wise. And finally, do you happen to have a promotional code? We do run offers from time to time.
Oh, actually, yes, let me just find it. Here we are. It's Save 20. That's all one word, SAVE, and then the number 20.
Lovely, I've popped that in for you. That gives you a 10% discount off the weekend rate, so that's a nice saving. Right, let me just run through everything. You're Daniel Whitfield, collecting an estate car from our city centre branch on the 29th of August and returning it on the 31st. Your wife will be an additional driver, and you'd like fully comprehensive insurance. Have I got all of that correct?
Yes, that all sounds spot on.
Wonderful. You'll receive a confirmation email to the address we have on file within the next few minutes. Please bring your driving license and a credit card when you come to collect, and your wife will need to bring hers as well for the additional driver registration.
Right, yes, we'll make sure to bring those. Thank you ever so much for your help.
Not at all, it's been a pleasure. We look forward to seeing you on Saturday morning. Have a lovely weekend. Goodbye.
You too. Goodbye.
That is the end of section 1. You now have some time to check your answers to section 1. Section 2. You will hear a radio presenter giving information about a summer festival. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 20. Now listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 20.
Good morning, and welcome back to Riverside Radio. I'm your host, Jenny Calloway, and coming up I have all the details you need about this year's Greenwater Summer Festival, taking place right here at Thornfield Park on the outskirts of Chelmsford. The festival kicks off this coming Friday and runs all the way through to Monday evening, giving you a full 4 days of live music, food, arts, and family entertainment. So whether you're planning a day trip or making a whole weekend of it, there really is something for everyone. The main stage, always the centerpiece of the event, opens its doors at 11 o'clock each morning, with the first act taking to the stage shortly after. Performances then continue right through until 10 in the evening, so you have the best part of the day to enjoy. Now, on to tickets. If you're coming as a family, the good news is that a family ticket, which covers 2 adults and up to 3 children, is priced at £65. Adult day tickets are £22, and children under 16 get in for £12. Tickets can be purchased online or at the gate on the day. One of the most exciting developments at this year's festival is in the food village. In previous years, the focus was mainly on locally sourced British produce, but the organizers have completely revamped it. It now features international cuisine from around the world, from Thai street food to Moroccan tagines and Argentine barbecue. It really has become a food lover's paradise. For families, the Children's Workshop Zone is a wonderful highlight. There are art sessions, storytelling performances, and hands-on science experiments running throughout the day. And I know parents will be very pleased to hear that all of these workshops are included in the festival entry price. There is absolutely no additional charge whatsoever. You simply turn up and take part. Now, getting to the festival. While there is some limited parking on site, the organizers are strongly encouraging visitors to make use of the dedicated shuttle bus service. This runs every 20 minutes from Chelmsford train station directly to the festival gates. It's efficient, affordable at just £2 return, and far better for the environment than driving. I'd also like to mention that the local bus service does not stop near the park, and while there is a river path nearby, There is no boat service operating this year, so the shuttle bus really is your best option for getting there. Let me now run through a few of the key festival facilities and what to expect from each of them this year. First, the main stage. Now, general festival entry gets you into the standing area in front of the stage, but if you would like a seat in the premium viewing enclosure, please be aware that you will need to book this in advance. Those premium seats are very popular and have sold out in previous years, so don't leave it too late. Moving on to the craft market. This has always been one of the most popular areas of the site, and this year it's better than ever. The organizers have significantly expanded it, adding an entirely new wing of stalls. You'll find handmade jewelry, ceramics, textiles, and artwork well worth setting aside some time to browse. The food village, as I mentioned, has had a major makeover this year. You'll find it conveniently situated right next to the main entrance, so it's the very first thing you come across when you arrive on site. It's a perfect spot to grab a coffee and something to eat before you head further in to explore. And finally, the children's zone. Last year, this area was open until 8 o'clock in the evening, which proved very popular with families. However, due to new local licensing arrangements that came into effect this spring, the children's zone will be closing at 6 o'clock this year, 2 hours earlier than before. So do plan your family's visit around that change. For the full program, artist lineup, and to book your tickets or premium seating, head to greenwaterfestival.co.uk. The Greenwater Summer Festival, 4 days, one incredible park, and memories to last a lifetime. Don't miss it, Chelmsford.
That is the end of Section 2. You now have some time to check your answers to Section 2. Section 3. You will hear 2 students planning a podcast project on climate change. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 30. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 30.
Good afternoon, Dr. Evans. Thanks for making time for us. Sarah and I have been making real progress on our podcast project and we wanted to bring you up to speed.
Glad you came in. Before we go through the details, can you remind me what the central focus of the project ended up being? I know it shifted a bit from your original proposal.
Yes, it did change. We decided to focus specifically on the impact of climate change on urban communities. We felt it was more relevant and tangible for our audience than covering something like government policy worldwide or the causes of deforestation.
Good decision. It gives you a clear and manageable scope. And how many episodes are you committing to?
We're planning 6 episodes in total. We initially considered 8, but given the time we have left in the semester, 6 lets us maintain quality without rushing everything.
Right. And we've already mapped out the themes for all 6, so we have a solid direction for each one.
Good. Have you managed to secure any guest speakers yet?
We have our first one confirmed. She's a university professor who specializes in renewable energy. We thought she'd set a strong academic tone for the opening episode. We did consider a local community activist or an environmental officer from the council, but the professor felt like the best fit.
Excellent choice. What about the structure of each episode? Have you settled on a format?
Yes. Each episode will follow the same template. We conduct a guest interview for around 20 minutes, and then Tom and I have a student discussion about the key themes raised. So it's always an interview followed by a student discussion. We decided against formats like a solo presentation or a debate. This feels more natural and accessible.
I like that. It gives listeners 2 layers of engagement. Now, where are you planning to host and publish the series?
We're going to use the university's dedicated podcast platform. It already reaches a student audience, and it avoids the costs and complications of a commercial streaming service. Setting up our own personal website would have taken too long as well.
Very sensible. I do have one recommendation, though. I think you should include a short summary of the key points at the end of every episode, something brief that captures the main takeaways for listeners.
Oh, we hadn't included that. Do you mean a written transcript for accessibility?
No, not a transcript, more of a spoken wrap-up. Just a minute or 2 summarizing the core messages before you sign off. Links to further reading are useful too, but the spoken summary is what I'd prioritize.
That makes a lot of sense. We'll add it to our episode template straight away.
Good. Now, how has the practical side been going? Any areas that have caused you difficulty?
Finding expert guests has honestly taken much longer than we planned. We assumed people would respond fairly quickly, but a lot of emails went unanswered, and several people who replied weren't available in our recording window.
On my end, I've been pulling together the content for episode 2, which covers sea level data. That section really needs more research before we can use it. The figures vary so widely between sources that we can't rely on what we have yet. I need to go back to peer-reviewed studies to verify everything.
Accuracy with scientific data is absolutely critical. Don't rush that part. What about the technical production side?
Editing the audio has been the most challenging part for me personally. I had no experience with audio software before this project, and getting the levels right, removing background noise, and making everything flow smoothly, it takes far more time and skill than I expected.
But the pilot episode actually came out better than we expected. We were both quite worried going into it, but the feedback from classmates was really encouraging. Several people said they'd genuinely listened to the full series.
That's a very promising sign. It sounds like the foundation is solid. Keep that momentum going, incorporate the spoken summary, and make sure the sea level data is properly verified before episode 2 goes out.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Evans. This has been really helpful. We'll send you our updated episode plan by the end of the week.
That is the end of section 3. You now have some time to check your answers to section 3. Section 4. You will hear university lecture on the development of written language across ancient civilizations. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Good morning, everyone. Today's lecture focuses on one of the most transformative achievements in human history, the development of written language. Rather than emerging from a single source, writing evolved independently across several ancient civilizations, each responding to distinct social and economic pressures. By examining these systems comparatively, we gain valuable insight into how human cognition, record-keeping, and communication have been shaped across thousands of years. Let us begin in ancient Mesopotamia, where the world's earliest confirmed writing system, Sumerian cuneiform, first appeared. The Sumerians pressed their symbols into clay tablets using a sharpened reed stylus, and it is precisely these durable clay records that have survived to the present day. In its earliest form, the system was entirely pictographic, meaning each sign directly represented a physical object or concept, rather than encoding a spoken sound. Crucially, the primary purpose of this innovation was not religious or literary in nature, but rather accounting. Administrators needed systematic methods to track the distribution of grain, livestock, and other commodities across large temple economies. Over subsequent centuries, the original pictographic signs were gradually simplified and rotated, evolving into the distinctive wedge-shaped marks we now recognize as cuneiform script. This transition from visual representation to abstraction marks one of the most remarkable intellectual developments of the ancient world. Moving westward to ancient Egypt, we encounter hieroglyphics, a writing system that developed roughly contemporaneously with cuneiform. The very term hieroglyphics derives from the Greek phrase meaning sacred carvings, a label that reflects the Egyptians' conviction that writing was a divine gift bestowed upon humanity by the god Thoth. While stone monuments display hieroglyphics most visibly, Egyptian scribes relied far more heavily on papyrus for everyday writing, a highly versatile material produced from the flattened stems of the papyrus plant, which grew in abundance along the Nile Delta. The hieroglyphic system remained largely undeciphered by modern scholars until the discovery of the Rosetta Stone in 1799, which carried the same royal decree in 3 different scripts, providing the crucial comparative data scholars needed. This breakthrough was finally completed by Jean-François Champollion in 1822 and fundamentally transformed Egyptology as a discipline. It is worth pausing to consider the deep chronological roots of these traditions. The earliest evidence of Sumerian writing dates back approximately 5,000 years, to roughly 3,100 BCE, making it our oldest confirmed writing system. A pivotal simplification occurred several centuries later in the ancient Levant, when the Phoenicians devised a streamlined consonantal script around 1050 BCE, a system that contained just 22 letters. This was a dramatic reduction in complexity compared to the hundreds of signs required by cuneiform or hieroglyphics, and the accessibility of this smaller symbol set accelerated the spread of literacy considerably across the Mediterranean world. In East Asia, the Chinese writing system followed a fundamentally different developmental path. Rather than shifting towards phonetic representation, it remained logographic throughout its entire evolution, with individual characters encoding units of meaning, morphemes, rather than representing sounds directly. This logographic character has given classical Chinese texts remarkable durability across centuries, even as spoken dialects diverged enormously. By contrast, the writing system of the Indus Valley Civilization, which reached its peak between approximately 2600 and 1900 BCE, has never been successfully deciphered. Despite intensive analysis by linguists, archaeologists, and computational researchers applying machine learning techniques, the language encoded within these seals and inscribed tablets remains entirely unknown, leaving one of antiquity's most compelling mysteries unresolved. In conclusion, the parallel yet independent emergence of writing systems across Mesopotamia, Egypt, the Levant, China, and the Indus Valley reveals both the universality of the human impulse to record and transmit information and the astonishing variety of forms that impulse can take. Each script is a window into the civilization that created it, and the continued decoding of these ancient systems remains one of the most exciting frontiers in the humanities today.
That is the end of Section 4. You now have some time to check your answers to Section 4. That is the end of the IELTS listening test. You now have some time to transfer your answers to the answer sheet.
Hey people, how was your test? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, or you'll be missing out on some serious fun. See you tomorrow!